Love that stays, a guided meditation, until the end of what can end. You do not need to change anything about this moment. Breath rises and falls whether you notice it or not. The chest lifts, drops, lifts again. Muscles hold where they have learnt to hold. The jaw carries its familiar tension or ease. Thoughts appear, wander, dissolve, vanish. Feelings move and shift or stay quiet in the background. None of this has to be different. You are already here. Being here is enough. For a moment, let the body be exactly as it is. You do not need to improve it. You do not need to empty the mind. You do not need to soften the heart. You are already inside the moment that matters. Before anyone described you, before anyone spoke your name, before you knew what a person was, there was a point in you that simply met the fact that you existed. It did not ask who you were. It did not wait to find out what you would become. It did not check whether you were easy, difficult, gentle, sharp, open, closed. It simply met your existence and stayed. You can picture it now, in the center of your chest, behind the sternum, behind bone and muscle and breath. Imagine a small dot of white light, very quiet, very steady, not glaring, not flickering, a single glowing point, no bigger than a seed. It does not strain to shine. It does not flare to be seen. It simply glows, soft and constant, in the middle of everything you are. It was there at the beginning. It is there now. This dot did not need to learn you. It did not study you from a distance and then come closer. It did not wait to see how you would turn out. It arrived with you and it stayed. Around you, care was uneven. People loved you in the ways they knew how and failed in the ways they could not help. Some held you and then disappeared into their own fear. Some were gentle one moment and sharp the next. Some tried to understand and could not quite reach you. Some worked hard to provide but forgot how to look. Some loved you openly. Some loved you quietly, clumsily, or not at all in ways you could recognize. You entered a world of unfinished people, with their own histories rubbing against your new life. You did not know any of this. You only felt being lifted, being put down, being answered, being ignored. Rooms that felt safe without knowing why. Rooms that felt unsafe without being able to explain. Through all of that, the dot glowed quietly in the chest. It did not lean closer when you were held well. It did not lean away when you were not. It did not brighten when someone got it right. It did not dim when someone hurt you. It stayed. Let it be here with you now, a small, white, glowing point in the center of the chest, not asking, not assessing, not demanding awareness. Simply present. If you like, you can imagine the warmth from this dot spreading a little into the space around it. Not a rush, not a flood, just the sense that where it glows, the chest remembers that it exists. This dot is love, not love as praise, not love as reward, not love as comfort that comes and goes. Love as staying. Love that arrives with your existence and refuses to leave, even when you turn away from yourself, even when you forget yourself, even when you cannot stand who you are, even when you do not want to be here. The dot stays. Let that land if it wants to. You have never been unloved by this presence, not for a moment. The body may soften, it may tighten, it may feel nothing at all. The dot does not change its nature based on your reaction. It is love whether you feel it or not. You grew and began to shape yourself. You learnt how faces change when you speak or stay silent. You learnt the weight of your presence in some rooms and the lightness of it in others. You felt when there was space for you and when there was not. You worked out what kinds of words were welcomed and which ones were ignored. You adjusted your volume. You edited your truth. You brought some parts forward and pushed others down. You spoke up in rooms where you sensed safety and stayed quiet in rooms where you did not. You gave more help than was asked for. You apologized when you were not sure what you had done wrong. You tried to be smaller so you would not take up too much space. You tried to be larger so you would not vanish. Through all of that bending and reshaping, the dot did not comment. It did not criticize your adjustments. It did not applaud your efforts. It did not ask you to be more honest or less. It did not ask you to be stronger or softer. It simply loved you, the way a steady flame loves the room it sits in, by staying lit. There may come a moment now where a simple truth arrives all at once. The dot has loved you the whole time. Not as an idea, not as a promise, but as a fact. It has loved you in every version you have been, through every phase, through every attempt, through every hiding, through every opening. It has loved you when you liked yourself and when you could not bear yourself. It has loved you when others saw you and when they did not. It has loved you through every unfinished story and every quiet victory. You may feel that as a shock, as relief, as ache, as disbelief, as nothing at all, yet still true. You do not need to respond in any particular way. Simply know this. You are standing inside a love that has never once stepped away from you. As you live with that knowing, something begins to change in how you see others. Not as a lesson, not as a decision, but as a consequence of seeing clearly. You start to notice the same staying in other people. In the person who cuts across your path, impatient and overwhelmed. In the neighbour who avoids eye contact. In the colleague who always feels silence, because silence frightens them. In the friend who disappears when feelings get big, because that is what they learnt to do. In the stranger on the bus, staring out of the window as if there is nowhere safe to look. In the stranger who smiles a fraction too long, hoping to be liked. If you look past the noise and the shape and the behaviour, you can sense it. They have a dot too, glowing somewhere in the chest, quiet, steady, loving them in exactly the same way. Their dot has watched them bend around other people's needs. It has seen them betray themselves and come back. It has walked with them through mistakes they cannot forgive and moments they cannot repeat. It has stayed with them through everything they never say aloud to anyone. They may never see it. They may live an entire life believing they are unlovable. They may harm themselves or others or both. They may spend decades trying to earn love that was inside them from the beginning. And still the dot loves them. You do not need to fix this. You do not need to tell them. You do not need to make them see. You simply know in your own chest they are loved, as you are loved. Love arises in you for them, not because they deserve it in that moment, not because they are kind, not because they have done anything to earn it, but because you recognize the devotion that has walked with them, dot to dot. You are loving the presence that has stayed, not the behavior you can see. This is not sentimental. It is not grand. It is quiet and exact. You love them because you can feel their dot, the way you feel your own. You live like this for a while, days, years, decades. Life carries you. You move through jobs, roles, duties, experiments. You begin things. You abandon things. You finish some tasks neatly and let others trail off. Some relationships deepen. Some remain surface level. Some break suddenly. Some slowly loosen until the last thread drops in silence. The world around you runs its own patterns. Buildings go up on land that once felt empty. Trees are cut down along pavements you used to walk. Neighbourhoods change their language and rhythm. Old shops close and never reopen. New ones arrive and feel strange until they too become normal. You lose parts of the world you thought would always be there. You lose parts of yourself you thought would always be there. Through all of this, the dot keeps its quiet place in the chest. The same white glow. The same willingness to stay. It does not tighten when you lose your way. It does not brighten when you find it again. It simply remains. The body, meanwhile, is living its own timeline. Your knees remember every step. Your back remembers every time you did not ask for help. Your hands remember what they have carried, what they have dropped, what they have reached for and missed. Your heart remembers each time it opened, each time it closed, each time it did not know what to do. At some point, you notice that the body has begun to slow. You rise from a chair and need a moment before you walk. You forget a word and remember it hours later. You stand still for a second before turning, to make sure the floor is where you expect it to be. You choose rest sooner. You care less about rushing to be understood. You begin to live in closer conversation with your own limits. The dot does not resist this. It does not mourn past strength. It does not wish you back into youth. It does not urge you to hold on. It stays with you as you slow, as you simplify, as you allow some things to be over. The world too keeps changing. Places you loved are altered or erased. Rivers are redirected. Coastlines shift. Weather patterns change in ways that once would have shocked you, and now simply join the pattern of everything else adjusting. The stories you grew up inside start to sound like history. The technology that once amazed you becomes ordinary, then outdated. You witness in small ways that nothing holds its form forever. Eventually, the body approaches its own ending. Perhaps there is illness. Perhaps there is suddenness. Perhaps there is a long, slow tapering off, where each day feels like a quieter version of the day before. One breath comes. Another follows. The dot glows steadily in the chest. Then one day, one moment, one breath does not come. There is an inhale that never arrives. There is an exhale that does not have another after it. The heart makes its final beat and does not begin again. The body dies. The person you have known as you ends. The story of that self is complete. The chest that held the dot is no longer working. The lungs are still. The blood is still. The body is finished, and the dot remains, glowing in the space where the chest once was. You are no longer the person who had the dot. You are the awareness that is now simply seeing it. You are not a memory. You are not a character. You are not trying to understand what has happened. There is only witnessing of what stays. The person who lived is gone. The body is finished. The story is over. The dot remains. And the moment there is no self left for it to stay with, it moves. Not to escape, not to rise, not to reach an end. It moves because love that stays does not stop when the life it loved is no longer here. The dot steps forward with absolute loyalty, searching for the you who had a name, a history, a life. Not the witness, not the awareness present now, but the you who could be held, spoken to, recognized. Love moves toward the one who ended, guided only by the unwavering fact of its own devotion. You are invited to take a quiet seat as witness, not as soul or memory, not as the person who lived, but as simple awareness, present for what devotion does next. You are not being taken on a personal journey. You are here to observe one truth. This love continues. Movement begins. You are not traveling as a self. You are watching devotion trace where the you with story has gone. The dot moves with certainty, not because it sees a path, but because its loyalty becomes the path. It moves because love, with no one left to hold, must now follow the echo of what it loved. Time begins to loosen. Years fall away like dust brushed lightly from fabric. Eras fold into themselves and dissolve, gentle as mist leaving glass. Cities thin into outlines before they vanish, as if they were remembered rather than built. Forests fade like the last shapes seen before sleep. Oceans flatten into colour, and colour fades into absence. Nothing breaks, nothing shatters. The world simply cannot hold its form while love moves through it. The dot does not hurry, it does not slow, its loyalty remains steady, and reality softens around its path. Language becomes breath and then disappears. Seasons forget their rhythm. History forgets it ever happened. Life thins into memory, and memory thins into nothing, and still the dot continues, searching for the one who ended. You witness devotion that will not collapse. Love walks forward even when nothing remains that can receive it. Not grieving, not hoping, simply staying loyal to what once was real. Space relaxes its distance. Time loses its shape. Matter wears thin, like fabric that can no longer be woven. Horizon after horizon fades before it can form. Existence becomes a surface too soft to stand on, too thin to name. And still the dot moves, carried by the same unwavering loyalty, heading towards something it has sensed all along. Not searching blindly, but moving toward a pull that has been waiting at the far edge of reality. The pull is where love goes, when the one it loves has gone beyond anything that still has shape. You are here to witness that movement, not because you are being taken anywhere, but because devotion continues, and witnessing remains where devotion goes. At the end of reality, the dot has not found the you with story. Nothing remains to stay with, yet the dot does not stop. Its loyalty continues, even here. You find, without a body, that you are standing. It is as if there is a ground beneath you made of dark itself. Not a planet, not a floor, not a surface with texture, but a sense of footing. You and the dot stand on this dark. Other dots stand on it too. All of you at once, and yet never crowded, because there is almost nothing left that needs space. Dark is not an opposite here. It is not absence. It is simply what remains when nothing else can form. You are here, beside your dot, on the dark ground, at the end of everything that ends. There is nothing left to collapse, nothing left to cool, nothing left to fade. Time is no longer a line, because there is no movement left to count. You are not alone, you are not surrounded. You are simply one presence among many, each of you beside a dot that has loved existence enough to stay with it, until there was nothing left to stay with. And in this absolute quiet, at the final edge of reality, a new sensation begins. Not from the dot. The dot is loyal, a constant in the nothingness. This sensation is different. A gentle, magnetic draw. A quiet tension in the fabric of what is left. A pull. It doesn't say what it is, it doesn't say where it leads. It is simply a feeling of orientation in the formless, a direction in the directionless. This is the pull. It is the final, unspoken nature of existence. Not a question asked, but a presence felt, the simple, undeniable fact of a horizon now that all landscapes are gone. You do not need to know what it is, you only need to feel that it is. You and the dot, on the dark, at the edge, feeling the pull, the love that never left, and a gift